Halo is considered one of the greatest video game franchises of all time. A while back, I gave myself a challenge and attempted something that's never been done in the history of the game. I'm going to hit the start streaming button and play every mainline Halo game on their hardest difficulty until I beat them all. I would not be able to end stream until I finished the final game. Will it take me one day? Will it take me two? All week? You're about to find out.
Oh, here it is.
Fired at the guy.
This game is so bad.
Now, I've scoured the entire internet and have yet to find someone who has completed this challenge in one single stream. So I plan on being the first. And as if legendary difficulty isn't punishment enough, I'm going to raise the stakes and leave myself at the mercy of my chat with an eating challenge.
We're up in the ante on this video.
I can only eat one bite of food for every dollar that gets donated. You heard that right. My chat could literally starve me, so I will need to beat these games fast. Being a Halo veteran, I've played Halo for the last 20 years, so I fully expected these games to be a breeze, even on the hardest difficulty, Legendary. What I didn't expect was the absolute rage-inducing episodes
I headshotted him 3 times.
that would accompany the 343 titles.
Any of you want to shoot? It's lazy.
How you use all that stuff?
Dude, he shot me with 2 needles. And it exploded. What? It killed me. Look at this. What are we doing? Who does that in a game? At this hunter, please. That's insane. 343 knows how to make really good games.
Speaking of rage-inducing, buckle up, because we're about to dive face first into a fiery load of 343 horse crap. Halo 4. You're probably wondering, why are you starting with Halo 4? Well, if you're new to the Halo universe, it's important to know that not all Halo games are created equal. Some are flawless pieces of art that transcend all space and time, while others are dog trash. We're going to start with the dog trash games and end with the flawless pieces of art that transcend all space and time.
Perfection.
This journey challenged me in ways I never imagined possible. Stick around and see for yourself. To get things started, I cracked open an ice cold Prime.
Prime up.
And since misery loves company, I recruited my brother and brother-in-law to co-op the first game with me.
I appreciate you being with me on this grind.
Halo 4 only took 4 hours and 20 minutes to complete, which is much faster than I remember. And thank God for it, because this game is insufferable.
Hey. Are you okay?
Oh, shield.
Guns feel bad, the guns sound terabad, the art style is mid, the environments are mid, the music is forgettable, the ending is underwhelming, the enemies are boring, Cortana looks great.
Hey, yo!
But the new direction 343 took Halo in is, in a word, bad. The game glitched out on me on Reclaimer, which is the longest level because you're forced to wait for the giant elephant type vehicle to slowly move through the level, and there's nothing you can do to speed it up. Halfway through the level, the map disappeared, and we were just left floating in midair with nowhere to go.
Oh no, I fell through the map.
We reset the checkpoint, and the same thing happened again. Classic 343. So we quit the level and restarted at a different checkpoint. The only enjoyment that I had playing through this game was suffering alongside my friends. I died 76 times during this legendary playthrough, and I mainly accredit that to this being my second time ever playing through the Halo 4 campaign, and the legendary AI being completely robotic, godlike, and unfun to fight against. I'm gonna start teabagging grunts, I'm getting so tilted. I was also trying to force every engagement because my goal for the day was to get through Halo 4 and 5 before bed, but this campaign is the most unfun Halo thing I have ever played. After I used the left thumbstick to climb, the left trigger to plant a grenade, and the left thumbstick to crawl, and the right trigger to detonate the bomb, I completed the most anticlimactic ending to one of the worst campaigns in Halo history.
This is the worst!
That's the end of Halo 4? How did we go from epic warthog runs to crawling on the ground? Thank God that's over. Highlights included the level not rendering.
It's driving us off a cliff? Shoutouts to 343. They really outdid themselves on this one.
A grav lift not working for my brother.
Yo!
A pelican I'm sitting in killing me out of nowhere.
What? It killed me.
And crawling on the floor and pushing one button to defeat the final boss in a cutscene. During the course of the game, my chat donated a generous $10, which means I was able to eat 10 bites of food. So I reheated a few bites of leftover steak, had a couple crackers, and a piece of candy for dessert. It was surprisingly filling, and it felt nice to take a break. Daylight was burning, and I still had 6 Halo games ahead of me. After beating Halo 4, I felt truly awful because the experience was nothing but pain. But hey, at least the worst is over, right? Right?
Halo 5. Right now. Let's go.
The Halo 5 campaign is something I wish could be deleted not only from my memory, but all of Halo lore. After 10 hours of hell, I can confidently say I will never touch this campaign again. If I was in prison and the only way of escape was to either beat Halo 1 through 3 on Lasso or complete the Halo 5 campaign on easy, I would pick Lasso every time. I'm so glad I started with these god-awful dog water dumpster fire 343 piles of steaming crap that they call Halo games, because it means there's nowhere to go but up. The story, weapons, gameplay, music are trash to mid-tier at best.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
The legendary difficulty is an art form, and 343 has yet to master or even understand it. Let me explain. In the original trilogy, the way Bungie made Halo games challenging was through a creative and multifaceted approach. They understood that maxing out enemy stats isn't the only way to make a game challenging. For instance, in the trilogy, enemies have more health, while your shields are about half their normal resistance. But not only that, enemy density is increased, and you will frequently run into higher ranking enemies. Grunts with better weapons or elites with swords. Sometimes grunts would throw more grenades at you than what's typical. Other times they just have better weapons. In Halo 3 Warthog Run, the panels fall away and explode more on Legendary than on Easy.
Yep.
All these factors play a part in making the Legendary difficulty a greater challenge. There's a real beauty to how it all gels together in the sandbox that Bungie created. They didn't just make things harder by cranking all the enemy stats to 11 and saying, "Here kids, have fun!" They instead gave you creative avenues to overcome the obstacles. For instance, in Halo 2, the level Cairo Station, there's a point in the level where waves of enemy dropships continuously slam into the docking bay and unload tons of aliens. On Easy, you can just take a battle rifle and mow them all down. On Legendary, if you don't get creative, you'll never succeed. On Legendary, you have to grab a plasma pistol off of a dead alien and use it to take out their shields and then finish them off. The game rewards you for not just being skilled, but getting creative and having an understanding of the weapons and how they work. While Bungie campaigns on Legendary are not for the faint of heart, it feels like you're fighting highly trained elite enemies as opposed to max stat robots. The campaigns play like a puzzle that needs to be solved, and once you figure them out, it's satisfying and rewarding. Halo 4 and 5 campaigns on Legendary feel like they just copied and pasted everything from easy mode, but then they turned down all of your stats and maxed out all of your enemy stats. Max health, max damage, max shields, max awareness, max accuracy, max. You get minimum shields, minimum damage, minimum ammo, minimum resistance. Difficulty is only implemented in one way. There's no noticeable enemy density, no higher ranked enemies with better weapons. It's just all the same enemies, but with cracked robot-like god tier stats.
That is insane.
Levels aren't puzzles to be solved, but rather swamps you have to trudge through. And when you get through it, you feel gross. It's the game you waste your time playing, not the game that makes you want to waste your time. The problem isn't even so much that they max out all the enemy stats, but it's the fact that the sandbox is so atrocious, it leaves you almost no creative ways to overcome challenges. The answer to most problems is find a vehicle and spam shoot enemies as long as possible, because using the guns on the ground will just be a grind. They have no ammo, they do no damage, so you're just wasting your time. And before you 343 shills come at me and say, oh, but David, Halo 2 on Legendary is difficult. What about the Jackal snipers on Outskirts? You know, they're robotic and Okay, to quote one of my favorite YouTubers, maybe Outskirts is only Outskirts because Outskirts is the only Outskirts. I think it's okay to have a few moments throughout a game that make you want to bang your head against the wall, and sure, as long as there's a payoff and it gives you bragging rights later, it's okay. It's completely different to have every other engagement be some sick joke that makes you want to snap your controller in half. Maybe I should play Elden Ring. But I digress. The Halo 5 campaign is so painful, it almost broke me. But after having a heart-to-heart with my chat and taking 5, I got some help from my friends and we pushed through to endgame. We beat the same boss 3 times in a row, spent a minute crawling on the ground again. I do not understand why 343 loves making their fanbase crawl on the floor so much. And that was the end of Halo 5. After promptly uninstalling the game and breaking my disc and torching it with my Scorpio, not a flamethrower MK1, I updated my death count to 256. Bet you weren't expecting an ad read for a flamethrower company. Last year, I got a custom Scorpio MK1 for myself for Christmas. It's made by Super Scorcher and is almost exactly the same as Uncle Elon's. Super Scorcher creates custom, handcrafted, artisan recreational flamethrowers and pyrotechnic devices as unique as you are. That's why I got mine in a custom orange with my podcast logo on it. Anyways, go to superscorcher.com and pick one up for yourself. You can get a standard one or you can get a custom one like I did. Use code PYRO10 for 10% off. The Halo 5 campaign was truly one of the lowest moments of this challenge. Just listen to me and my friends when we beat the game. We truly sound miserable.
Oh, we did it.
Holy crap.
Oh, developed by 343. You don't say. What a terrible game.
That was horrible.
Highlights for this game include dying to a kamikaze grunt around a corner in a pitch black hallway, headshotting a Promethean on a Warthog turret 3 times and getting nothing for it.
I headshotted him 3 times. 4.
Getting triple sniped upon turning a corner, and getting ground pounded by a teammate and then respawning off the ledge.
Exuberant.
I always thought that it would fall to humans.
Oh, nice.
But in a way, I suppose it has.
Sorry.
Oh, Mr. Locke, you don't
What
give up
happened?
I
easily.
just got
Where's that
glitched off the
gravity-headed
end.
Cortana?
Off to bring peace.
The monster
Same.
called it a threat of death.
Like the threat I lived under from the moment of my birth.
You were built.
I just spawned
Oh yes,
in the middle
AIs
of
are
the
just
map.
machines, aren't we? Mass-produced.
Make Halo great again, am I right, boys?
I finished Halo 5 at 1:30 a.m. with $17 donated. So, with the stream still running, I had 17 bites of food and tried to get some sleep in preparation for tomorrow's big day. Oh boy, the game that made me quit playing Halo for a long time. The Halo game with unlimited potential and endless disappointments.
Here we go. Halo Infinite. Make Halo great again.
I wanted to get an early start, so I woke up at 8:15 a.m. and got straight into it. And big shout out to 343. This campaign is the only campaign in Halo history that you can't play with friends. So this will have to be a solo journey to the bitter end. For me, The Halo Infinite campaign was something I truly enjoyed the first time I played it. I don't mind the semi-linear open world approach, and the story felt so much more compelling compared to 343's past work. Flying around with the grapple and exploring the massive environment is a ton of fun. Infinite is the only Halo game where I actually prefer the campaign to the multiplayer. I know for a fact if there was campaign DLC lined up ready to go, or like a PvPvE mode similar to Destiny, I would have purchased it and played it non-stop. But alas, the dream that Evan Yang had has yet to be realized.
My name is Evan Yang, and I really like that new map. I'm really excited for Season 5. I really like the customization, but I'm still praying for campaign DLC. That's what I'm looking for. Hopefully one day.
Yeah, I'm going to cut you off right there, Evan. No, thanks.
A normal or even heroic gameplay of this campaign is a pretty pleasant experience. However, legendary, not so much. This campaign really suffers from terrible checkpoints and boss battles that are so annoying. I ended up just getting frustrated and cheesing my way through them. I don't normally like to cheese my way through games just to win, but the boss battles in Halo Infinite are just you in a room, while the number company tosses in an overpowered bullet sponge and says, "Here, kill this, it hard." For most bosses, I ended up just waiting until the AI did something dumb, or I found a way to cheese it, just to get it over with. This campaign shares the same fate as all 343 legendary campaigns. It wasn't a puzzle to be solved. It was just another swamp to trudge through. Crank the enemy stat values to 11, call it a day. The final boss battle took me nearly 2 hours. Part of it was just because I didn't look up any strats for the first hour, and the other part was because I just was so tired by that point. I really wish I was a cracked speedrunner, but I'm not. So this campaign took me, wait for it, 13 hours and 54 minutes to complete on Legendary. I was definitely aiming for a lower time, but I ended up burning through a whole day to get this one done. All in all, Halo Infinite campaign still ranks middle of the road for me. I was so happy to be done with this campaign, I literally let out a scream when I finally beat it. And it was less of a, wow, I feel so accomplished kind of scream, and more of a, thank God this is over, I finally get to play a great Halo game type of scream. I mean, just listen to this.
Oh my God.
Tell them I am sorry it took so long.
Oh my.
Unknown. The signals.
Oh my God.
Yours too.
We need extraction.
Highlights for this playthrough included me just living my life and then dying out of nowhere while my body gets launched 1,000 feet in the air. Really, getting a god-awful checkpoint while fighting brute boss Bassus, and the game audio completely glitching out and literally just turning into dust and echoes. I just lost all audio. With the worst behind me, it was time to play a Halo game that does allow playing with friends. Even though it was 10 p.m., I had 2 DGens who were ready to go deep into the night. My brother-in-law and one of my stream mods, Tobathor. After 14 hours of playing the most mid-Halo campaign ever, it was time to indulge in a masterpiece. Halo Reach, baby. From the very first moments of this game, you're drawn into the mystery and beauty of what it could be. We see a clouded planet, a shot of a helmet stuck in the dirt with mountains behind it. The helmet is the same one you chose for your Spartan. Ancient drums pounding, louder, louder. Title screen. Then we cut to a first-person view of you holding your helmet, putting it on. We're in. The Halo Reach campaign is truly a thing of beauty. The score from Marty and Mike bring this game to life. When we interviewed Marty on our podcast, he talked about how he was able to put so much emotion in his music, and Reach is no different. If you want to check out the interview, I'll link it in the description. But Halo Reach was a much needed breath of fresh air.
We're on hour 37, dog.
It's incredible that even a Halo game like Reach, which ranks pretty low for me, is still more compelling than any Halo of recent memory. The weapons are okay, but not my favorite by any means. I wasn't a fan of its multiplayer when it came out, and I'm still not really a big fan. As I understand it, this Halo is definitely Bungie's way of experimenting and trying some out-of-the-box ideas with Halo.
Bravo 029er, you are clear to dock. Activating launcher.
Bro, what are you
All that being said, they still nailed the story, and we had so much fun playing this game. I'd be lying to you if I told you this story didn't still make me tear up a little bit. The final mission, where you're the last Spartan alive and you have to fend off as many enemies as you can so the Pillar of Autumn can escape, is a beautifully tragic way to end the game. Highlights included driving a warthog into a massive swarm of enemies,
That's what I said. Bro, I said don't drive straight in. Are we living? No.
killing rats,
Look at this rat, Toby. He's ratting up in here. Ratting up. He's ratting up. Probably plays COD. Oh, whoa. Whoa.
I wasn't careful.
Oh!
watching my lifeless body fly through space. My brother boarding a Banshee.
Oh, you won't? Oh! Oh! Go take out that tank, yo!
And just playing campaign with friends because this game is set up to do that kind of thing. We finished this campaign at just around 4 hours, and it was the perfect way to end the night at 4 a.m. So, with the stream still live, I updated my death count to 665, brushed my teeth, and tried to get some sleep.
Good night, y'all. See you in the morning.
Covenant, on the landing above us. We did what we had to for Earth. An entire Covenant armada obliterated, and the Flood, 100% casualties. Chief, we need to jump now!
This is the first and best game in the Halo series. All fans agree. It's not even close. If you've never played Halo before, this is where the epic space odyssey all started, and we get introduced to the great cast of characters who go on a journey to save mankind from total annihilation. The score is perfect. The story, compelling. The characters have depth. The scale is massive. The combat, incredibly satisfying. The world is immersive. I love everything about this game because it's obvious that every detail was made with love and care. But let's not get distracted by the beauty and sheer perfection that is Halo 1. If you haven't played this game, do it. Halo CE picks up right where Halo Reach left off. We are stranded on a mysterious ring and all our Marines are dead. So our only option is to find survivors. I've watched a ton of speedruns of this game, but I haven't really practiced any of the strats, so this run turned out to be a reverse speedrun, where I basically attempted every speedrun strat, hit almost none of them, and ended up making this run way longer than it needed to be. Eventually, I gave up the speedrunning strats and just tried to get through as fast as possible, which was also a problem because that meant I made way more mistakes and died more, which means I wasted more time, which got me tilted, which made me rush more. It's a vicious cycle. My first major setback in Halo 1 came during the Silent Cartographer. If you're new to Halo, this is one of the greatest levels in Halo history. The Covenant believe that Halo's map room, the Silent Cartographer, is located somewhere under an island with multiple structures concealing the installation. You, as the Master Chief, lead a mob of Marines in an assault on that island in order to locate the control room. It's epic, fun, action-packed, short and sweet. However, I wasted 20 minutes trying to do a speedrunning strat that I've never been able to hit in my 20 years of playing the game. Don't ask me why, but after wasting a bunch of time and getting tilted, I went through the level like a normal human.
So I'm giving up on that.
By this time, I was 2 days and 4 hours into the stream, so my patience was at an all-time low and my exhaustion was at an all-time high. But I love this game, and there were plenty of great moments during this legendary run. Highlights included not getting a pistol at the very first fight of the game.
Those Marines could use some help, Chief.
Whoa.
Do what you do.
No. Whoa, no pistol. That was so weird.
A mouth-breathing Marine throwing the worst nade I've ever seen.
You stupid!
Punching elite corpses to see the pretty bright purple alien juice.
Touchdown on a desert plateau roughly 300 kilometers upspin.
Beating a level while dead because I triggered the cutscene right before I exploded.
Oh. Oh. No! It triggered! It triggered! I beat it! I beat it! Yes!
Falling through an elevator because my teammate decided to call it back up.
I didn't do a single thing and somehow I just died.
Finding a hallway full of frozen grunts.
Whoa. Whoa. Yo. What?
Successfully doing the flood bump skip on keys after trying for 30 minutes. And nailing the warthog jump on the final level.
And that is why you're subscribed to 2 Quick Ones.
This campaign took me 9 hours to complete, and I received $12 in donations, which allowed me 12 bites of food. After updating my death count, it was time for the next epic game in the trilogy.
Halo 2. It's the sequel to one of the greatest games ever made, and the most anticipated game on any platform.
He's hunting, headed up the snipe.
Shockwave.
Gonna get him. Shockwave with the
That
PR.
Oh my god, he almost...
Now, unfortunately, we do have free fall.
Bruh! Look at where I am! No!
After streaming for 59 hours straight, it's time for Halo 2. This game is regarded as one of the hardest Halo games on the legendary difficulty. When you play co-op, if one of you dies, you both have to restart at the last checkpoint. So, I grabbed my buddy, checked out Doc, and we hit the ground running. The first level is super fun and also a good challenge. The docking bay is especially exciting because you have to fight off multiple waves of enemies. The first level took us 24 minutes to beat, which isn't bad considering we hadn't played Halo 2 in years. The next level, Outskirts, has the infamous and incredibly difficult Sniper Alley, which is full of godlike sniper jackals. But because I grew up playing Halo 2 religiously, I knew how to skip the entire section. So after a hop, skip, and a grenade jump, we were well on our way to beating Outskirts. The first 3 levels of Halo 2's campaign are truly incredible. Starting on a space station under alien attack to fighting through a dense metropolis, and then wheeling and dealing across a massive bridge to go board a skyscraper-sized enemy vehicle that looks like a dung beetle? Talk about epic. For the next sequence of levels, you make your way into enemy territory playing as a Covenant character named Arbiter. Bungie did something new and kind of cool here, where they started telling 2 stories at once from their respective points of view. At the time, it was pretty crazy, but my favorite levels are still the ones where I get to play as the Master Chief. Half of Halo 2 left to go, and then the final game of Halo 3. Doc helped me through 2 more levels, but then left at the worst point imaginable.
All right, man. Thanks for your help.
All right, finish the fight.
Gravemine is the hardest level on Legendary. The beginning is excruciatingly tough because the enemies are strong and there's not a lot of cover. The opening sequence of this level took me 30 minutes. At one point, I was literally so tired, I quit playing after dying at the same checkpoint over and over.
I want to quit. I'm done.
How ironic that Gravemine was the level sending my mind to the grave. After sitting on my phone for 20 minutes and rethinking my life choices, I got a text from my brother encouraging me to get back on the horse. And that's what I did. I decided to play it extremely slow and kill everything before moving on to each section. Now I know what you're thinking. David, if you slow play it, won't that take forever? And the answer is yes. And it did take forever. But I would rather make progress at a snail's pace than go nowhere fast. Slow and steady wins the race. And I did win the race. After 8 hours, the Halo 2 campaign was done.
Oh my god.
Death count, 950. Donations, $75. Highlights from this campaign included a channel member, Telltale Fart, donating $50 so I could get a pizza, Dot cutting the last cable on the station and sending me into a freefall,
Bruh.
asking Doc important questions,
If the moon was made of ribs, would you eat it?
and honestly not giving up even when I kinda wanted to. This whole playthrough reminded me of how great Halo games used to be. Playing this on Legendary required great communication and teamwork, and getting through each mission felt so satisfying, even when it was difficult. Also, I'm 99% sure that I beat this campaign on Legendary when I was in like 7th grade, but I do not remember it being this hard. I may have lost my touch a little bit in my old age. After beating Halo 4, 5, Infinite, Reach, 1, and 2 all on Legendary, it was finally time. What better way to end this insane journey than with Bungie's magnum opus? The greatest Halo offering the known universe has ever seen. While I'm partial to Halo 1, there's no denying the glory and grandeur that Halo 3 holds. This game was revolutionary. This is where all the puzzle pieces finally came together. Upon release, more than 1 million people played Halo 3 on Xbox Live in the first 24 hours. No Halo game after it has even come close to its majesty. 343 can't be expected to understand it. It's so far above them. They're like ropes on the Goodyear blimp. This story begins 2 weeks after the events of Halo 2. You crash land in an East African jungle with Sergeant Johnson and the homies. You fight your way to the makeshift UNSC headquarters and work out a plan to save all life from total annihilation. It's only right that I close out this adventure with my own brother and my brother-in-law. My brother is well versed in speedrunning techniques, so we were able to pull off some great time saves, like killing this Marine.
You bastard stung me.
Yo!
This campaign is a blast from beginning to end. It still holds up in every way. The three of us absolutely crushed this campaign and finished it in less than 4 hours. Highlights included shooting jetpack brutes where the sun don't shine,
Nutshot.
accidentally throwing a mine on my brother-in-law,
Heads up.
making sure Covenant anti-aircraft is really dead.
Fuel rod on the other side.
Triple boarding a Prowler like Master Chief from the books.
Dude, Master Chief from the books much?
A Warthog falling to the bottom of the map during the final run and not exploding.
Oh.
Halo's ripping itself apart.
Careful. You're gonna need that. Oh, it landed on its all fours though. It's in pretty good condition. Nice.
And having plenty of close calls during said final run.
Bruh. Oh yeah.
After 89 hours and 28 minutes of non-stop streaming, 1,013 deaths, the fight was finished. Every mainline Halo game in one single stream.
It's finished.
It's finished.
I'll drop a beacon, but it'll be a while before anyone finds us. Years, even. I'll miss you.
Wake me when you need me.
The original Halo trilogy has this intangible thread woven through each and every moment from beginning to end. It's hard to put into words, but it's this thread that has resonated with millions of fans over the last 2 decades. I'm grateful that when I was 11 years old, my neighbor got an Xbox and introduced us to Halo. And when Christmas rolled around that year, my parents got us an Xbox with Halo. I feel so fortunate that my teenage years were filled with Halo 1 and 2 LAN parties and pizza, staying up late on school nights playing Halo 3 on Xbox Live. I owe a lot of my friendships and joy and fun of my childhood to Halo. It was a beautiful time and one I wouldn't trade for the world. That decade of gaming with friends and family will be something that I cherish forever.